Lesson 8, some of the general comments on this lesson. In Lesson 7, your review work was to aspect the horoscope of Judy Garland. In the next 10 lessons, as we give you more details on each planet, we ask you to delineate each planet in Judy Garland's horoscope. As always, you can find our answers and our interpretations in the appendix. It is very important that you actually do these delineations because this is what astrology is all about. Delineating, interpreting, and judging what you see. You can only learn this by doing it. As you delineate each planet and decide which of the given keywords or phrases to use, and then check in the appendix to see if we chose the same phrases and why. You are exercising the practice that eventually makes the master. This experience will be your basic learning of astrology. Everything that comes afterward will be just further refinements of the same technique and knowledge. A basic overview of Judy Garland's horoscope. Before we begin to delineate Judy Garland's horoscope, we must first look at the whole picture to get a basic overview of her personality. She has 5 planets plus her ascendant in cardinal signs, only one fixed planet, and 4 planets plus her midheaven in mutable signs. Therefore, Judy is active, ambitious, enthusiastic, and quick. With many mutable planets added to this cardinal filling, and considering that she has 4 planets in cadent houses, which relate to mutable, she is versatile, changeable, sympathetic, and intuitive. See lesson 1. 6 planets in water signs give her great sensitivity, make her emotional and easily influenced. The fact that she has no planets in Earth shows that she lacks a certain practicality and that she does not always have both feet on the ground. See lesson 4. This lack of the Earth element is somewhat compensated for by 4 planets in the houses of substance, which are based on the elements and relate to Earth. We also see that she has 4 planets in the houses of endings, which relate to water and reemphasize her sensitivity and depth of feeling. Garland has 6 planets east and 4 planets west of the north-south meridian, which is not a significant division. 3 planets above and 7 planets below the horizon. One of the 7 being the moon shows that her basic inclination is subjective. See lesson 1. The planet Saturn is exalted in Libra, and therefore Saturn can express its nature harmoniously. See lesson 3. This gives you a good basic sense of Judy Garland's horoscope. The next step is to delineate the heart of the chart, the life giver, the sun. This lesson covers the sun in greater detail. At the end of this lesson, we will ask you to choose the right keywords for the sun, the sign of Gemini, and the 12th house, and then the phrases and words given in this lesson which you feel fit Judy Garland's horoscope. And don't forget to delineate all the aspects that the sun makes in this chart. Our interpretation can be found in the appendix on page 289. You will notice that next to the sun in the first house and moon in the second house, it says accidental exaltation. Next to the sun in the 5th house and the moon in the 4th house, it says accidental dignity. This indicates that the sun in the 1st house equates to the sun in Aries, where it is exalted. And the sun in the 5th house equates to the sun in Leo, where it is dignified. Therefore, the sun, as if by accident, works very positively in these houses. The same reasoning, of course, applies to the moon in the 2nd house, which is the house of Taurus, where the moon is exalted, and the 4th house equating with Cancer, where the moon is dignified, and so on, with all the planets in the houses equating to the signs where they are either exalted or dignified. The suns and the signs. The sun represents your inner self, your personality, and your ego. So You will have to consider the following descriptions within that context. The sun in Aries, keyword enterprising, exaltation, militant, headstrong, and ambitious. You are quick, dynamic, and enthusiastic. You are a leader, not a follower, and you do well in positions of authority and management. You are an excellent artisan. You like to do your own thing in your own good time, and you are opinionated and at times even arrogant. You can be insensitive to the needs of others, yet you rarely hold a grudge. Your overt self confidence can hide a deep feeling of inadequacy. Your aim is energetic leadership. President Thomas Jefferson, dancer Arthur Murray, sportscaster Howard Cosell, singer Diana Ross, actor Warren Beatty. Sun in Taurus, keyword practical. Persistent, determined, and cautious, you are a plotter who needs time to adjust to new ideas. Because you are fond of art and music, you can excel in these fields. Retentive and steadfast, you rarely scatter your forces. You prefer to assume responsibility seriously and practically. You like gracious living and have an inner drive to build a firm foundation, often based on financial security. Headstrong, you are slow to anger, but when you get angry, you get furious. Sympathetic and understanding, you are a faithful friend, but an implacable enemy. Singer Barbara Streisand, baseball player Willie Mays, newspaper publisher William Randolph Hearst, singer Ella Fitzgerald, and conductor Zubia Mithal all have their sons in Taurus. Sun in Gemini, keyword adroit, sensitive, talkative, vacillating, and sympathetic. You must cultivate pers- you must cultivate perseverance, or your restlessness will inhabit true accomplishment. Variety is the spice of your life. You love to socialize, and you try to avoid deep emotionalism. You are eloquent, love to read, and have many hobbies. You can be vague and irresponsible, and need a constant change of scene. You should channel your ability and talent for communication so it does not become idle chatter. People with their sun in Gemini, writer Ralph Waldo Emerson, actress Marilyn Monroe, pianist Errol Gardner, President John F. Kennedy, actor Errol Flynn, attorney F. Lee Bailey, and actor Tony Curtis. Writer Henry David Thoreau, actor Bill Cosby, lyricist Oscar Hammerstein, writer Pearl Buck, artist Rembrandt Van Ryn, and actor Bob Crane. Sun in Leo, keyword self-expressive, dignity. You are a natural leader with many friends. You are active, generous, youthful, and optimistic in spite of your self-assurance and dignity. You have a great fear of being laughed at or disgraced. Affectionate, you love to display your feelings. Though you may not have many children of your own, you are found fond of children and they respond warmly to you. Patience is not your strong suit, and you must learn to discipline your fiery enthusiasm and overly dramatic approach to life. You cannot be pushed, but flattery goes a long way with you. Creative and emotionally exuberant, you make a good actor or teacher, and you enjoy the good life. People with the sun in Leo, actress Lucille Ball, Emperor Napoleon, actress Mae West, ex-First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, Onassis, artist Andy Warhol, and actor Robert De Niro. Sun in Virgo, keyword conscientious, 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 modest, discriminating, and thoughtful. Everything you do, you do well. You give great attention to detail, but you can carry this to extremes, becoming fussy, overly critical, and even interfering. You worry a lot, but you are not easily discouraged. Once you overcome a sense of modesty, you are very articulate and express your ideals well. You enjoy routine or service orientated and very responsible. You are thoughtful and fond of learning, and you rarely look your age. That's fly right there. Actress Greta Garbo, actor Jenny Kelly, Governor George Wallace, artist Grandma Moses, writer H.G. Wells, White House Chief of Staff Hamilton Jordan, actress Sophia Loren, all Sun is in Virgo. Sun in Libra, keyword moderate, all. You believe in compromise, which makes you a good diplomat. You love beauty and refinement. You do not like to get your hands dirty and usually avoid any field that may require this. Charming and uh, companionable, you operate best in a partnership. You generally marry young and sometimes often. You are social, gracious, gregarious, and you love to entertain and have a good time. Peace and harmony are important to you, and you go to great lengths to achieve them. People with Sun in Libra, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, etiquette writer Emily Post, baseball player Mickey Mantle, TV show host Ed Sullivan, actor George C. Scott, and President Dwight D. Eisenhower all have sun signs in Libra. Sun in Scorpio, keyword probing, determined, aggressive, and shrewd. You are rarely passive and neutral about anything. Deep, often quite secretive and reserved. You are at times jealous, resentful, and even vengeful. Your recuperative powers are remarkable. You are a truth seeker. You have keen judgment and penetrating insight. And these qualities enable you to exercise a great deal of authority over others. Science, medicine, or any field of intrigue are right up your alley. Willpower and persistence are your strong points, and although you are somewhat reticent, when produced, you can become outspoken and direct. Actors or artist Pablo Picasso, strongman Charles Atlas, baseball player Royal Campella, Queen Marie Antoinette, singer Mahalia Jackson, murder code leader Charles Manson. All Sun was in Scorpio. Sun in Sagittarius. You are gregarious and enthusiastic, and you espouse high principles such as universal love and world peace. Happy go lucky, honest, cheerful, and optimistic. At times, you are restless, careless, and extravagant. Your tolerance allows you to work well with all people, and you accept them for what they are. You are extroverted, and your bluntness and impatience can unknowingly hurt others who are more sensitive. You are fond of sports and the outdoors and travel. Quote, don't fence me in, unquote, could be your motto. Industrialist Andrew Carnegie, conductor Arthur Fielder, writer Mark Twain, statesman Winston Churchill, writer Louisa May Alcott, and actress Liv Ullmann. All Sun is in Sagittarius. Sun in Virgo, keyword cautious, ambitious, serious, and dedicated to duty. Life may seem difficult for you, but you ultimately triumph. Although you are self disciplined, responsible, and practical, at times you can wallow in self pity. Your reasoning ability is excellent, and you have a strong sense of purpose and direction. You may appear somber and reserved in your dealings with others, but once you give your trust, you are a loyal and steadfast friend. Socially orientated, you are willing to work hard for anything you want, and your self esteem is extremely important to you. Statesman Daniel Webster, medical missionary Albert Swartzwitzer, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, General Robert E. Lee, pianist Oscar Levant, President Richard Nixon, and actress Faye Dunaway, all Sun is in Capricorn. Sun in Aquarius. Keyword unconventional, detriment, original, independent, individualistic, and freedom loving. You can be rebellious and perversive if you do not handle these qualities well. Your strong likes and dislikes can make you seem stubborn and unyielding. Anything different has great appeal to you, and you are often attracted to the occult, astrology, or causes of any kind. It is easier for you to love many people than just one, which can make you seem cool and detached. Unpredictable, curious, and intellectual. Your aim is to express useful knowledge. Naturalist Charles Darwin, feminist Betty Friedan, aviator Charles Lindbergh, actor Hall Holbrook, singer Marian Anderson, and actor John Travolta, all Sun is an Aquarius. Sun in Pisces, keyword imaginative, the dreamer of the zodiac. You are compassionate, tolerant, kind, and loving. You are easily influenced by others because you don't want to hurt anyone. It is hard for you to make decisions, and you need to overcome your desire to escape from anything that is difficult. Creative, spiritual, and often mystical, at times you can be indolent and impractical. You may seem to lack self confidence, but in your own quiet way, you accomplish a great deal. Charming and likable, you are good to those in distress and are fond of animals. Pisces, more than any other sign, will draw its strength or weakness from the rest of the horoscope. Poet Edna St. Vincent Millay, poet Elizabeth Browning, dancer Rudolph Nureyev, dancer Sid Charcy, actor Sidney Poitier, and consumer advocate Ralph Nader, all sun sign were in Pisces. The preceding notes also apply to the sign on the ascendant. When delineating the sun, you must not only consider the sign, but also the house it is placed in. For example, the sun in Gemini in the eighth house will express itself with Scorpio overtones, while the sun in Gemini in the 10th house will have a Capricorn approach, in addition to Gemini characteristics. However, with the sign Gemini on the ascendant, the cusp of the first house, the true Gemini personality will be evident. The sun in the houses, the sun in the first house, keyword vital, accidental exaltation, strong willed, confident, optimistic, and happy. This placement intensifies the sun sign. You usually have a happy childhood, a strong constitution, and good health. You have leadership ability and like to dominate. You are extroverted, courageous, and enthusiastic, but with too many challenging aspects, you can be dictatorial, egotistic, and pompous. The sun in the first house takes on many Aries characteristics. Governor Huey Long, President Lyndon Johnson, actress Lucille Ball, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, and actor Warren Beatty all have the sun in their first house. Sun in the second house. Keyword financial. You are constantly searching for values. This placement indicates an ability to attract money, but you can't always hang on to it. You love splendor. Your possessions can be status symbols. Influential friends usually come to you. You come from a well to do home or have a successful parent. Extravagance and financial success are characteristics here, but it is also important for you to learn to share. The sun in the second house acts much like the sun in Taurus. Comedian Jack Benny, political philosopher Karl Marx, Senator Edward M. Kennedy, actress Ellen Burstyn, actor Robert De Niro, dancer Joel Grey, and singer Beverly Sills. All sun have suns in their second house. Sun in the third house. Keyword communicative. Observant, optimistic, scientific, and flexible. You have the ability to make the right decisions at the right time. A good speaker and writer. You enjoy getting involved in neighborhood affairs and traveling. Brothers and sisters are important to you, and your early environment was probably happy. You can be either impartial and self reliant or arrogant and domineering. The sun in the third house acts much like the sun in Gemini. Poet Alfred Tennyson, Chief Justice Earl Warren, conductor Arthur Toscanini, poet Carl Sandburg, astronaut Neil Armstrong, Governor John Connolly, and singer John Davison all have suns in the third house. The sun in the fourth house, keyword domestic. You have strong parental ties and a happy home life unless you have too many challenging aspects. Then there is a desire to leave home early. You experience good health in old age. This house placement is excellent for all phases of real estate. You have a strong urge for self protection that may surface as an ultimate need for security. This house shows the roots of a person's being, the depths not apparent on the surface. The sun in the fourth house reflects many tendencies of the sun in Cancer. Medical missionary Albert Schweitzer, pianist Lebracy, actress Greta Garbo, inventor Thomas Edison, columnist Jack Anderson, and singer Lena Horne all have suns in the fourth house. Sun in the fifth house, keyword magnetic, accidental dignity, strong, popular, creative, and self-indulgent. You find great joy in love and children. You are successful with the opposite sex and may have many love affairs. You handle children well, but rarely have a large family. You are likely to express yourself through acting, teaching, art, sports, or speculation. With difficult aspects, you may exploit others or be an exhibitionist, exhibitionist. The sun in the fifth house works much like the sun in the Leo. Writer George Sand, actor James Dean, the Duke of Windsor, dancer Fred Astaire, singer Alice Cooper, musician John Lennon, and publisher Larry Flint all have suns in the fifth house. Sun in the sixth house, keyword capable. You are a good worker and organizer, and you take pride in your achievements. Determined and faithful, you have a high regard for beauty, diet, health, and hygiene. A regular routine is necessary for your emotional well being. A positive attitude can help you overcome physical weakness or poor health. You would do well either in service fields or in sports. The sun in the sixth house is similar to having the sun in Virgo. Baseball player Jackie Robinson, field director Alfred Hitchcock, boxer Muhammad Ali, singer Glenn Campbell, singer Eartha Kitt, basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar all have suns in the sixth house. Sun in the seventh house. Keyword partnership, companionability, companionable. Partnerships is your keynote, and you function best when working with someone else. However, you must learn that your partner's wishes are as important as your own because you are easy to get along with, you are popular and well liked. Marriage is important to you, and you will profit through any partnership or union. If there are difficult aspects, this placement can bring you notoriety. Usually, you are lucky in any dealings with the law or courts. The sun in the seventh house and the sun in Libra work in very much the same way. Actress Jean Harlow, murder cult leader Charles Manson, actress Carol Lombard, singer Mick Jagger, actor Clint Eastwood, and Lieutenant William Calley all have suns in their seventh house. Sun in the eighth house, keyword regenerative. Regenerative. This is a very political placement. You are able to attract the support of other people. You may have an inheritance, a legacy, or perhaps you manage other people's money. You are very creative, and sex is important to you. Intent on self improvement. You can be interested in occult fields and in issues of life after death. You might have difficulties in your early life linked somehow to your father. With challenging aspects, you could have financial trouble either through mismanagement or an extravagant partner. The sun in the eighth house takes on many overtones of the sun in Scorpio. President Harry S. Truman, President John F. Kennedy, poet Lord Byron, financier John D. Rockefeller Sr., heirs Bar Hutton, financial writer Sylva Porter, all have suns in the eighth house. Sun in the ninth house, keyword adventurous. The sun in the ninth house is an excellent placement for success in law, travel, or Orthodox religion. You have a flair for foreign languages and you get along with almost anyone. You could marry a foreigner whom you meet on a long journey, or perhaps you have a foreign born parent. You are a serious student with philosophical learnings, and you will make a good and devoted teacher. At times, you can be impractical. And if you use this placement negatively, you can be a daydreamer on the one hand or a fanatic on the other. The sun in the ninth house acts much like the sun in Sagittarius. Dictator Benito Mussolini, explorer Robert Peary, presidential advisor Bernard Burrich, explorer Roland Amundsen, ecologist Jacques Cousteau, film director Roman Polanski, all have suns in the ninth house. Sun in the 10th house, keyword responsible. You feel the need to improve your importance, so you are usually successful and sometimes famous. If you are not in the public eye, you are none of the less a leader in your own circle. This is an ideal placement for politics as you are ambitious and intrigued with power. Sometimes you are rebellious and arrogant, but people always notice you. The sun in the 10th house and the sun in Capricorn often work in the same way. Civil rights leader Martin Luther King, activist Vincent van Gogh, poet Anne Moore Lindbergh, composer Edgar Stravinsky, and actor Burt Reynolds have suns in the 10th house. Sun in the 11th house, keyword individualistic. You do your own thing, and generally you achieve what you want. You are either very social with many friends, or you are the loner who goes your own way. Good at meeting challenges. You are usually an excellent organizer who can inspire others to help you in all your undertakings. You are often a leader in some new field or involved with service on a large scale. The sun in the 11th house and the sun in Aquarius operate similarly. Writer Ernest Hemingway, General Douglas MacArthur, actress Ethel Waters, artist Salvador Dali, anthropologist Margaret Mead, singer Cher, actor Robert Reed, all have suns in the 11th house. Sun in the 12th house, keyword secretive. Although you may lack self confidence and need a lot of solitude, you are able to integrate the subconscious part of your nature. Your life before 30 may be somewhat restricted. Some kind of work in institutions, charities, labor, or research appeals to you, although you usually prefer to work behind the scenes. This is often the placement for actors, since actors can hide their real feelings by playing a role. If there are difficult aspects, you may be your own worst enemy. You must learn to serve and should not let yourself wallow in self pity. The sun in the 12th house operates like the sun in Pisces. This placement depends more on the total horoscope than any of the other sun placements. Writer Zelda Fitzgerald, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, newspaper publisher William Randolph Hearst, labor leader James Hoffa, TV personnel Paul Lind, and comedian Jim Backus all have suns in the 12th house. The sun in aspect. Any aspect to the sun stresses the inner self, the personality, and the ego. The conjunction emphasizes the self. The opposition gives self awareness or awareness of someone else. The square challenges the ego and creates tension on a personality level. The trine gives the personality an opportunity to flow harmoniously. The sextile makes it easy for the ego to express itself. The inconjunct tells you that an adjustment must be made before the inner self can express itself positively. Conjunctions. Sun conjunct moon. This aspect can be limiting and can slow extremes of temperament according to the sign. You tend to one sidedness by narrowing your outlook. You can be self willing and driving, but you keep personal contacts at a distance. The sun conjunct the moon indicates a new moon at your birth. Um, I'm gonna start it from there actually on the next session. Got like a minute left, but we stop the recording.